Hello?
Michelle, long time no speak.
Yeah. How you been?
I've been great. And hello there, cat people. It's Dan the Cat Man and Michelle the blank.
The blank. We'll go with that for now.
Michelle, how about Michelle the Farty Feline? No?
Oh, I don't know if I like that.
Michelle the cat author?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, how about the cat whisperer? How about that?
The
No.
cat whisperer.
I know that might be taken already. I don't know.
It's not trademarked. No, you're the Dan the Cat Man and Michelle the cat author whisperer.
Sure.
Until it hits you. But anyway, welcome to but we digress. Welcome to episode 41 of the Shelter Cats podcast.
Did you ever think you'd make it to this many, Dan?
I never, I started the blog in 2015 and I didn't care if anybody, poor choice of words. I didn't care if anybody read it. And I did the same thing with the podcast. I expected nothing. I thought I'd do one or two and that would be it. But here we are. We have a team. We have a webmaster. I have an amazing partner and co-host in you.
Well, thank you.
You bring so much to you ask questions I don't think of because you do more research than I do. But I go in blind, and you're like, I'm going to look at the website. So we bring different takes to it. So welcome to episode 41 of the Shelter Cats podcast, our labor of feline love. And speaking of labors of love, today's group, if you think your family is great, if you think your family is put together, I'm not knocking your families, but if you think your family has their shit together, sorry, you don't, because today's guests, they are the rescue advocates of Long Island. They are a family. There are 3 kids, a mom and a dad, and they 9 years ago banded together because they've had pets of their own, cats and dogs, and they banded together and they started a nonprofit to help other rescues on Long Island get the supplies and funding they need to help more cats and dogs on Long Island as a family. And it's just, we found them on social media. We reached out to them and we had them on the show tonight. We had, I think, the oldest daughter and the mom on the show.
That's right. Yep.
And they, just like every family should consider doing a version of this, because I was so impressed.
They're very impressive.
It's just you asked the logistics question, just how they just got this, how they got it together and how they just organize it and the drives they do.
Yeah.
And it's just a well-oiled machine, and
That's
they're
right.
a nonprofit. So, again, we're not criticizing your family, but I don't feel not knowing your families. I don't think you're doing as much as this group of people.
And they all 5 of them work together towards this goal. It's not like there's one person that's an outlier who's not participating. They all participate in this, and it's really pretty cool.
It just warmed my heart. I was so moved to, afterwards they sent me a message saying, "We hope that was great. We were so nervous." Are you kidding me?
Oh, they were fantastic.
They're just an amazing group of people. We had to bring them on the show because they're not directly involved in animal rescue, but they assist all of the. Because they made a good point. It's, if you go into this and you're not like in the weeds like we are, you think, oh, there's North Shore Animal League and there's Little Shelter and a few of the other big ones, and that's it. But there are a lot of small nonprofits, or they're working on their nonprofits. They're small. They're based in certain areas of New York, of Long Island, and they're doing the best they can. They're strapped for cash. They're strapped for supplies. But now they have this group that will do what they can, from their own pockets and from donations.
That's right.
To help these small groups get what they need to help the bazillion homeless cats and dogs.
It just reminded me, Dan, of the previous guest we had, Stacy, who said, I guess it was 20, 30 years ago, she donated a bag of kitty litter to a shelter, thinking it would be enough, not realizing that they go through that in a day. And that was kind of something that triggered her to do more. And it's the same thing with these guys. It's like, if you're not involved in it, like you say, if you're not in the weeds, you have this assumption, oh yeah, whatever, a bag of cat litter is fine, or one box of food is fine, or a bag of food is fine, but it's really not. It's really not.
Yeah. I mean, all donations are I'm sure appreciated, but they need so many. I mean, I have 7. I have 6 and a foster, and they eat 2 large cans of food a day. That's just 7 cats. That's 2 cans a day.
Wait, each of your cats gets 2 full, 9-ounce cans a day?
Sorry, this 1 can for the 7 of them.
Okay.
Large can of Friskies. They each get like a tablespoon of food.
Oh, okay.
And so that's 7 cats. 2 large cans a day. Whatever 2 times 7 is, I don't math.
That would be 14.
Thank you very much. Amazing co-host. So that's 14 cans a week. That's a 12-pack and then some.
That's an easy enough one for me. Don't add a third digit to that, because then we're both done for.
A 12-pack is between $8 and $10 for the basic brands. That's $10 a week. See, I can kind of math. For like a Friskies or a 9 Lives, not the best, not the worst kind of cat food, just basic, basic full nutrition for cats, basic meals.
Well, and then you get picky ones like mine are over here, and they won't eat 9 Lives.
Exactly. And my Sophie is on a sensitive stomach diet, so she gets her own food separate from the rest. Right.
Well, now we're on a urinary tract care diet, so it's special food that I have to order. It's like a prescription kind of food. So these guys are real fancy.
And I had my Jackson, who will be featured on a future episode. He had urinary crystals, so he absolutely had to be on a special diet.
Right.
The bags of dry food were $40.
It's expensive.
The case of food was also $40. So, and that's just for your own pets. Imagine you're a rescue and you're feeding colonies of 20, 40, 50 cats.
Right. And God forbid a couple of those have urinary issues or other special medical needs that they have to have something, unique for, or a little bit more expensive. It adds up.
So before you know it, that's why these groups, these people, rescue advocates of Long Island, that's why they provide. So we just did this off the top of our heads. This is such a vital service that they provide. So I'm so happy that we found them, and that leads me to my preamble, because we want to hear from you too. You don't have to be a family that does this. Even if you just have an amazing cat, or you feed colonies, or you foster and you have a house full of fosters. One of my from Alley Cats, one of my friends, Fran, who works for them, she's got maybe between 10 and 20 fosters besides her own pets.
Wow.
So if you have a house full of fosters, she sent me pictures. It just looks like hundreds of cats, and they're all happy and they find homes.
Wow.
So if you have a house full of fosters, or you do trapping, or you run a rescue, or you're a family somewhere else that does something like this, we want to hear from you too. So how do you find us? I will tell you. Our website right now is tylerthecat.com, but it will be changing to sheltercatspodcast.com soon.
Very exciting.
I'm so excited.
It's so official.
I know. This is getting serious. My email is dan@sheltercatspodcast.com. Yours is
Michelle at sheltercatspodcast.com.
The social media we're good on. We have a Facebook page called Shelter Cats. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I think people use Threads still. Just search Shelter Cats Podcast for all of those. We do YouTube, where we do audio of the episodes. So if you need closed captioning, that's on YouTube. Also, just search Shelter Cats for the YouTube page. And we have a Medium blog that we do every Saturday, where I'll feature a couple of cats that are up for adoption, and I'll ramble and just tell stories, or commemorate birthdays of our cats, or stuff like that. So that is sheltercats.medium.com. And I never mentioned this anymore, but if you're a Spotify person, you could actually support the podcast. Nobody has yet, but don't feel intimidated. If you want to support the podcast and you're a Spotify person, just look for the little dollar symbol on Spotify. You could donate any amount you want, and that helps me get better equipment. But you don't have to. It doesn't matter to us. We're doing this to spread the word about cats, not make money. So that's how you reach out to us. So don't be shy. We want to hear from you. This is an open platform for anybody that has bettered the lives of homeless cats and shelter cats. This is an open platform for everybody. We want to hear every single story out there. And as discouraged as I get sometimes, we're never going to stop until we get every story, hopefully. Right, Michelle?
That's we're going to be going for a long time.
That's right. We're only 50. We got a couple
more years.
So all our little this is like the pre-show.
Actually, Dan, speak for yourself. I'm 51, so I got one less year than you.
I was rounding down. I was trying to be nice.
Almost exactly one less year.
trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm 15 some days, so there's that.
I always feel like I'm 50, so I admire that. I haven't felt. Occasionally, there are a day or two here and there I feel 45, but that's about as good as it gets.
Well, that's specific.
I feel at least 5 years younger. Nope, there it is. Never mind. I feel 50.
30? No, 45. 45.
45.
Sometimes I feel 47 and a half, but...
47 and a half. Yeah, it's as good as it gets these days. So now that we've warmed you up with our banter and our wit, on with the show. So without further ado, here is our amazing conversation with an awesome family that is doing just amazing things, helping out local rescues on Long Island. Rescue Advocates of Long Island. Enjoy the interview, and thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dan?
Good. So we are on episode 41 of the Shelter Cats podcast.
That's incredible.
Remember that show in the 80s? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Vaguely remember. So tonight's guests are, as soon as they join us, they are Rescue Advocates of Long Island.
Right.
So that we'll find out, but I don't think they're a direct rescue. I think they support rescues.
That's what it looks like. That's that they do like supplies like food and bedding and other sorts of things like that to the rescuers and to the other like shelters and things like that.
Yeah, so that just seems like a really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously a massive need. So they're going to be joining us in just a moment.
Yep.
And we'll get to find out. I believe they're a family, but we'll find out in a moment.
Okay.
I think they're, a husband and wife and kids. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But that's why we're doing this, because I want to find out. I think we need more people. We need more groups like this that just support rescues. Hello.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
How are you? Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
So I'm the mom. I'm Anne Marie Bonomo.
And I'm her daughter, Caitlin Bonomo. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
You guys
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. It's nice to chat with you.
You too.
So I'm Dan, and that's Michelle, and we are the hosts of the Shelter Cats podcast. So welcome. You're episode 41, so welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So to jump right in, I came across some of your posts. I'm not 100% sure where on social media on Facebook, but it just seemed like you guys are doing such great work for cats and dogs, and you have kind of like a different angle. So I read your About Us, but it's never as good as the real thing. So can you explain how you got into like your little niche of helping people who help homeless cats and homeless dogs? How did you guys come up with this idea?
Yeah, so at least for my siblings and I, we always grew up with dogs and cats in our home, and it was a huge part of our childhood and upbringing. And around about when I was 9 years old, um, we decided to give back to the animals who weren't as fortunate, the homeless dogs and cats from local shelters and rescues. And since then we've been doing annual holiday drives. We've been doing paintings for the dogs and cats. So it really sort of started from our personal experiences with my pets, and my siblings' experiences with our pets, and just that factor of wanting to give back to others.
That's great.
Caitlin,
So,
did you say paintings?
Yes, we my sister Brianne and I, for the past I think 5 years now, we've done over 300 paintings of the dogs and cats at the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter.
Oh, how nice.
Yes, yeah.
And they
I-
they're given to the adopters once the dog or cat are adopted, and they're displayed in the lobby, on the wall in the lobby there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been doing that for about over 5 years. So they
Yeah.
hand paint, the dog or the cat, and yeah, they're displayed in the shelter, and then once they're adopted or pulled by a rescue, the paintings are sent either with the adopter or the rescue.
Oh, that is so nice. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
that's that's that is real. Why did I not know that? That is so cool that they go home with a painting.
Yeah.
I got. Can I commission you guys? I have 7 cats here. Can I commission you guys to do mine?
Sure, yeah.
Bob Ross has got nothing on you guys. That's really, really, really cool. What a
Thank you.
Yeah, if you go on either our Facebook page or Instagram, when you scroll through, you'll see the girls with their paintings. They'll show the new ones that they made, or if they're at the shelter and they take their picture in front of the wall of the paintings. So if you scroll through, you'll be able to see a bunch of them.
Yeah.
really cool. So you started this about 9 years ago, and how did you begin it? How did you get your first drive going? It must have been, from gee, I want to help to actually doing it. There must have been a lot to get set up. How did you get it going?
Yeah, so it was mainly my siblings and I who wanted to start it, but of course, we've had tremendous amounts of support from our parents. But starting it for our first holiday drive, at least, we contacted the rescues that we got our dogs from, just as a starter, and we reached out, and they were the first rescues that we donated to for our first holiday drive. And of course, we made an Instagram page, a Facebook, a website, and we sort of reached out to family and friends to get the message out there about the holiday drive, and it all kind of started from there.
So you donate like food and supplies to rescues?
Yes, food, treats, sheets, collars, leashes, anything that the homeless dogs and cats may need. Yeah.
And also we do, if they really would prefer a monetary donation for medical bills instead of goodies, we'll do that instead if they really feel the need more for medical as opposed to like getting those supplies instead. So we, every year, the kids, they reach out to the different rescues we're helping. We try to change it up. Some we hold fast to for over the years, our tried and true rescues and shelters. Others we try to change up and try to reach and help as many rescues as we can. But we'll ask them, for this year, would you rather have supplies and food, or would you rather have monetary donation towards medical bills?
Right. Now, you guys, you did a holiday drive. Do you, I saw that you have an Amazon wish list, which I think is really pretty cool because you can just go in and just pick it and buy it and send it over. But like if I had something that I wanted to donate that I just had here, like let's say I had an extra box of cat food because my cats won't eat it because they're picky, as we all know. Do you have like a mechanism that I could just bring you something to donate like throughout the year outside of the drive?
Yes, of course, we always accept any kinds of donations throughout the year. It's not just limited to the holiday drive.
Right.
But we do get a lot of actual supplies delivered straight to our house,
Right.
and then from then we distribute to whatever rescue or shelter is in need of it.
Right. Is that how the
Right.
wish list works? Like if I order from that, does it go directly to your home?
Yes, so it goes
Okay.
directly to our home, and then we know which rescue or shelter was in need of that item. And we're always in contact. We're always seeing, we've befriended a lot of the people in these rescues and shelters that we're helping. So we're always constantly in contact with them or seeing them. So that's why we will, whatever is sent to us, even throughout the year, or we have people like dropping stuff off, on our bench in front of the house if they reach out to us,
Mhm.
and they're nearby. And we'll make sure that it gets to the shelter or rescue that needs it.
That's I'm going to use the word awesome a lot, so deal with it.
That's a good word. That's
It's
fine.
such the supplies, because you're the 41st episode, so we've interviewed a lot of rescues. We have a stack more that have reached out to us through TikTok, and the number one need is the vet bills are out of control, and
Yes.
we don't have enough food because of the fosters and the colonies they take care of. So having an advocacy group, so to speak, like you guys is just an amazing thing. I'm really glad that you did that. I think by law every kid should grow up with something,
Right.
some sort of pet, because look what it did for you.
Right. Yeah.
It inspired you to do this. So do you have any kind of idea how many rescues you've helped in 9 years? Is anybody keeping track of that?
I'm gonna say probably, gosh, over 20.
Yeah.
I would say over 20 that we have helped. Like I said, we try to, again, like connect. Usually the starting point is through the yearly holiday drive, where we'll reach out saying, that the kids are doing this. Would you be interested? And of course, nobody's ever declined.
Of course
Right.
not.
So, and that's where we first like develop those relationships. So, yeah, it's, and then we take it from there and like, again, what they need. But I'm going to say, 20 plus, I'll say
throughout the years.
the years,
That's
at
great.
least.
And some of those are kind of on an annual basis.
Right.
Will reach out to you for something.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. They'll reach out, if with things that they might need, like if, they need, certain bedding, or if they need, food, or if they, whatever they need, they reach out to us, and we do the best we can to, be able to provide for them, or to do, again, if it's around holiday time, it's really convenient because we're already having so many donations come in at that time.
Yeah.
But even if it's throughout the year, we do things throughout the year to help out when we can, because the need is not just at the holiday time.
Right.
The need
Right.
for these dogs and cats are constant. So definitely those who are even feeding feral cats, we know that that's constant, that's not stopping anytime soon. So if they need food, we'll try to provide the food for them, just throughout the year.
Right. I can't help but think about the logistics of everything. So do you guys keep anything, like, do you have like a warehouse? Do you have like a storage unit? Do you keep anything on hand, and how do you keep it all organized?
It is all in our garage. Very packed. There's a lot of stuff, but we managed to keep it organized all year round.
Good.
And although it's kind of tough to squeeze through in and out, we keep everything organized in there. So our garage is like our warehouse.
Oh, that's great.
Right. And we don't hold on to things for very long, which is a good thing.
Right.
Usually it's the most crowded during the holiday drive time for those couple months. And then the other times it's really a lot more manageable, because, the minute something's needed, we're trying to get it right to whoever needs it.
Right. Right.
So luckily we're our garage is okay. Like right now, for instance, because the holiday drive just finished. So it's a little bit of a low time, so we can actually walk in our garage right
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And enjoy it while it lasts.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
And so this is a family affair. Everybody in the family is involved with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There-
there's myself, my husband, and then the 3 kids. So our oldest son Brendan, who's 20 now, and again he was like 11 when we started this, and we have Caitlin here is almost 18, and then our other daughter Brianne is 14. So it's the 5 of us who do this. Mainly it's the kids, and we started it for the kids, so that they would have something, always like something to be proud of, something to be a part of, something they could pass on to their children down the road,
And something that reflected our values and our love for animals as we grew up. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
How many pets do you currently have?
We currently have 3 pit bulls, but we did have 2 cats and 2 dogs previously, or at least in my time, who the 4 of them have unfortunately passed away now, but we currently have 3 pit bulls.
3 pit bulls.
Yes.
My oldest cat has actually intimidated my landlord's pit bull, which goes to the everything you've heard about pit bulls is wrong, because
Right.
she's a 15-pound little queen, and they were on either side of my screen door, and he ran away whimpering, and all she did was stare him down.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So 15-pound cat versus 75-pound.
Yeah.
That's
And
That's
funny.
funny, yeah.
He's 11 now, but he was about 2 at the time. So picture, everything, strong, muscular pit bull, and he's like, "The hell with this! I'm out of here."
Right. Exactly.
And every time he sees her, he's like, "Sorry, are we good? We cool? Sorry, I'm gonna give you a wide. I'm gonna walk over here."
Right.
So
Right.
I love pit bulls, but they're afraid of cats.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
So-
right. And, eventually we'll reintroduce cats to our family. Just right now, at this moment, it's the 3 doggies. But we had cats with all 3 of the kids growing up. Our cats were such an important part of their lives also, and we miss them tremendously.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
when my husband and I, when we first got married, our first furry children were our cat children. So
Right.
that was and right now actually we're feeding a few feral cats that are outside our house. So for now those are our cats, and we take care, we make sure, we're so worried for them, we have the houses for them, we
Oh, nice.
feeding them every day. There's Oreo, RJ, we've named them all, Oreo, RJ, they're out there. And so we get our cat fix from helping them every day, and checking on them, checking the Ring camera, like who's out there now, to see.
For sure.
So there are our adopted furry kids out there.
Yeah.
And they look in the garage like, wow.
Right. Exactly.
It's like kid in a candy store for a cat.
Right.
So did you, I hate to bring up pandemic, did it affect anything? Did it make it more challenging, less challenging? Because you started this in 2015 and you've gone straight through pandemic. Did it make things better, worse, no change?
As far as the drives and the donations, thank goodness that didn't really change. The things that changed, like the kids, we haven't mentioned how the kids are heavily part of the town of Hempstead Shelter has a reading program where the kids can read to the dogs and the cats. And our kids, they did that for years prior to the pandemic. And then unfortunately, when the pandemic happened, of course, everything was closed to them. So they didn't have the connection, because a lot of rescues and shelters, and it's understandable, you can't have kids volunteer there because there's liability, and I do understand that. It's sad because and that's one of the reasons with starting this and having the drives and the supplies and the connections to rescues and shelters, was because there's not a lot out there for kids to participate in. So they were part of that reading program, which was a way to link them, the dogs and cats at the shelter, and to read to them and to try to like provide that connection with the dogs and cats when they get their own families down the road. The dogs and the cats, they're used to human interaction.
Right.
So when the pandemic happened, unfortunately, that came to a stop. And the shelter didn't reintroduce that program till earlier this year. So it was for a few years, shut down. So unfortunately, like for our kids and other kids who participated in that program, the connection was lost to being able to see and read to the shelter cats and dogs. But thank God it was reintroduced. But yeah, that's what's like sad, at least for Long Island. I know we have a lot of families who do reach out to us saying, oh, do you know of any volunteer opportunities? I have an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old human child. And it's,
thanks for clearing that up.
My furry kids are like my kids too. So, they'll say that they have, their children want to participate. Are there rescues out there? Are there shelters out there that they can volunteer at? And again, unfortunately, a lot of them, it's 18 years old and older. And there aren't a lot of opportunities for kids on Long Island, at least, to be able to, do things with animals. And,
not even at like 15 or 16 when somebody is, like they're able to work maybe at a fast food place, they wouldn't be able to work at a shelter?
No, I know
it's
at
usually
least,
18.
Yeah, I know the few we're in contact with, it's 18. When, do you remember Pets for Love, when they used to be at the Source Mall, which is now the Salmonea Mall? They used to be there. They used to allow the kids to come to take care of the cats. Also, they also had a reading program. That's where like we also started with them when they had a reading program. But then they also allowed volunteer children as long as they were with a parent. I was a Girl Scout leader. They allowed Girl Scout troop visits where the girls were hands-on with the cats, learning about cat care, cat safety, everything about cats. So Pets for Love used to actually allow children volunteers there. But of course, they're, unfortunately, they're no longer at the Source Mall for the past few years. Also, I think since pre-pandemic. So yeah, a lot just don't have that hands-on, I guess is the way to say it, that hands-on interaction for kids.
Seems like such a shame, I mean, that would be a great, just a really fantastic opportunity just to get it, especially, if somebody's actually, I was going to ask if you guys, any of the 3 kids is anybody going into like animal care as a career, like veterinarian or anything like that?
Well, so far, my brother and I don't think either of us are, but I think my little sister, she's 14 now. I think she may be looking into it. She's still, a little young. She's still trying to figure things out, but I think she has shown previous, interest in like comments and stuff that maybe she'll go down that path. Because I know especially my mom would love to have a vet in the family.
That would be phenomenal. How much do you do for animals?
I keep saying, like, come on, guys, I need to have one veterinarian.
That's right.
Tech. I'll take anyone in the veterinary field, like in the family, please. But yeah, my son's majoring in engineering, and Caitlin, her interest is film production. So but you never know, with film production, she could always
she could do a documentary on Long Island rescue cats.
Yes,
that is true.
Yes, right.
hey, where I can't edit to save my life on YouTube, I just do the audios of the episode. So we may need you at some future. We'll do an update we'll do an update as you proceed through college. My mother wanted me to be an accountant and or a doctor, and I didn't do either, so I understand that.
So you understand. You understand. But I feel like every family with furry kids deserves like a vet or a vet tech or someone in the family. It's like times I need that phone call in the middle of the night answered,
Well, you never know. You may, at least one of them may pursue a career in animal care. But I mean, at the very least, you guys as a family are doing such an awesome thing, such a needed. It's just so needed, especially here on Long Island. Just for we have listeners in Australia. We have listeners all over the
Wow.
world. Just so just so that people not here, not on Long Island, there are a lot of small rescues on Long Island for cats and dogs. I don't know enough about the dog rescue world.
Right.
Perhaps you can enlighten me, but I know there are a lot of feline rescues. I'm obviously, I help a few. I'm in communication with some. I help
Right.
feed colonies for one or two. Are there as many dog rescues as well?
I believe there are. There's a lot of small grassroots ones that like people just haven't heard of, you know. A lot of people know of North Shore Animal League and like because that's a big name,
Right.
but they don't like both for dogs and cats. There's so many. If I'm just talking to neighbors or colleagues or family members, and I'll mention a not as popular rescue for cats or dogs, like people just haven't heard of the local rescues.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they only know like the bigger name places.
Yes.
And that's, you know, it's unfortunate because the support needed for the smaller, you know, ones, like with our holiday drive, we've helped like Tender Loving Cats, you know, and they also help the Hofstra cats, the cats that are on the Hofstra campus. Tender Loving Cat, we participated in Tender Loving Cats had a spay neuter clinic for the Hofstra cats a couple of years ago, where they all day long we were helping out with getting those Hofstra cats spayed and neutered, and then they were returned to the Hofstra campus, those that couldn't be adopted out. And just even knowing, people didn't even realize like how many cats live. I think like over 100 live on the
Yes.
Hofstra University campus.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were. We had them on in the fall. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was, my mind was blown when I heard that story.
Wow.
Right. It's really, and we actually met up with one of their volunteers there when we were dropping off some of the goodies for the holiday drive a couple of years ago. And we got to see like some of the cats that were there at Hofstra University, and they come out, they recognized her, they came right out. So if you're just like walking the campus, you don't realize they're even there. And then when you realize, oh my gosh, there's that many there, it was actually, jaw dropping. It was just, it was, and just helping at that clinic that day that they had, just trying to help those cats so that, you know, the population doesn't explode on the campus. It was really nice to participate in that. And they let the kids, you know, of course we had to sign off because the kids were minors, but Tender Loving Cats let the kids participate in helping out with the spay neuter clinic. So that was rewarding for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's, again, for people not in New York, the TLDR, I say TLDR way too much. The TLDR of New York is, you'd think, one of the biggest cities, New York, Long Island proper. You'd think being such a big, advanced, fast moving city, it's actually probably the most behind in terms of the epidemic of homeless cats.
Right.
Particularly Long Island, maybe not quite as bad as New York City, because New York City, it's just completely out of control. We've had a few rescues on, and they're almost in tears when they go into what they deal with, particularly in the 5 boroughs of New York City, between lack of support from the city. So again, what you guys do is just so absolutely needed, because they'll never, so many groups we've spoken to never feel like they could ever get even the slightest handle on being able to even just feed the homeless cats that come their way, or anything like that. We could ask 70,000. We could ask 70,000 more questions, but the last one, unless Michelle, if you have any.
Well, I was going to ask you about. I saw that you guys recently were awarded a citation from the town of Hempstead. What was that about?
So it was actually our second Town of Hempstead Citation Award, and it was a prize, which is it made it so amazing, so much more amazing to receive, because we didn't even know it was going to happen, and we were called on. It was actually for the paintings that we were talking about earlier,
Oh, cool.
the town of Hempstead, homeless dogs and cats. So yeah, it was definitely an amazing experience, a great surprise too, and very rewarding. Besides just the untangible rewards that we receive from doing all these paintings, and just the happy owners,
Yeah.
the smiles of people who walk through the lobby and see the paintings. That's all rewarding in itself. But yes, the citation award was definitely so amazing to receive.
Yeah, congratulations on that. You kids are like pretty impressive, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like 50, and I don't think I've done as much in my life as the three of you have. So nice job.
No, I have to convince my cats to start painting if they can. They're all asleep now. Like, you're doing another podcast?
Right.
Do you have other families kind of been inspired to do something similar? Maybe friends, family friends of yours have, because obviously you're big communication, you communicate through social media.
Right.
Have other family you should inspire other families to do this, or
Right.
other families should be inspired to kind of gather together as a team. Has anybody reached out to you, and how did you do it? Because we want to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any families have sort of reached out to ask us how we began the charity itself, but I know that through our holiday drives, at least, we've garnered like a community of people who come together and help to donate every year. So I think the inspiration of our charity sort of brought them into the animal world and kind of exposed them to what it's like, for the lives of these homeless dogs and cats, to, help inspire them to start donating every year. And even though, no matter the amount of the donation, every little bit counts. And I think no matter how much people donate, if they, just support us in liking a post, or they give us a bunch of stuff, no matter the type of support, I think, people have been inspired to kind of join in this little community because of the holiday drives and the things that we do, which is, super great in itself.
And you are a 501c3, so people can donate to you. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We got our 501c3 maybe a year within the year of forming.
Yeah.
Back in 2015.
Yeah.
So yes, we are 501c3.
And how do people find you?
Usually it's through our social media. So we have a Facebook page called Rescue Advocates of Long Island, and we have an Instagram page, which is at Rescue Advocates LI. And we have a website, which is rescueadvocatesli.org. So I think through all of those, and also just, by word of mouth, reaching out to friends and family, and at people that we know, to kind of just spread the word. But it's mainly our social media that we're very active on. So we can reach, so many more people through that, which is also amazing.
Well, guys, you are the model animal rescue family. You really, really are.
Thank you.
And I mean that most sincerely. I'm so impressed at how you got this off the ground, and how organized you are, and how you gave up your garage, which is not easy to do. as a family, to give up your garage, that shows true dedication. So
it was a sacrifice that needed to be had.
The cars are outside, but who cares? Because the cats and dogs get what they need. So
right.
Guys, thank you so much for everything you do. We're going to follow your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you both. Thank you both for having us, and for all that you do, for supporting like the cats of Long Island. And, we appreciate what you both do also.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. This has been great. Yeah. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, I'm inspired. I don't have kids, but I'm still inspired to go find some and make them do this stuff, because it's
That sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
just so what a just a great a great thing. It's so needed, and
Oh,
that need will never go away, because there will always be cats
yes.
that
Yeah,
that
100%. And we'll be here as long as we can for them
Yeah.
and to support them and the people who, make their lives better. We're here for them.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Keep at it. We need you, and we'll definitely have you on again in a while and see how things go.
Of
Great.
course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Take care.
All
Take
right.
care.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi there, cat people. Dan the Catman is back with an epilogue. Epilogue? That's the after one, right? Epilogue. Yeah, prologue, epilogue. So I have an epilogue. I'm recording this on Saturday, March 16th, with a studio full of sleeping cats. But I wanted to, as I often do, I like to commemorate anniversaries, cat-anniversaries. And this Monday, the 18th, is 1 year since the amazing senior cat Taylor came to live with me. And if you remember from the previous episodes, Taylor was my death row rescue. So he was on death row at New York's Animal Control. As I'd mentioned, he lost his family. He was kicked out with his brothers. His brothers have since passed away, and he was left, and he was 13 at the time. And he ended up at Animal Control, and he was pretty depressed about, his circumstance. Wouldn't you be? And he was about 2 hours away from, bad thing. And thanks to the wonderful people at RALI Cats Rescue, they were able to get him out of there. They got him medical care. He needed some dental work. And he was never fixed, so he was fixed. And then he came here, initially as a foster, but I pretty much almost instantly fell in love with him, and so did my existing resident cats. They took him in literally within days. It was like he'd always been here. So obviously I adopted him. And now it's 1 year later, and he is going strong. He is happy. He's healthy. I call him Taylor with the shiny coat, because he has a very, 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 very shiny coat. Very healthy, shiny coat, and he's happy and he's healthy, and he is the most loving, appreciative senior cat I think I may have ever come across. So here's a little epilogue tacked on to this week's episode, just to say how much I love that boy, what an amazing cat he's turned out to be, and I could not imagine this household, this cat kingdom, without my Taylor. I really could not. My only regret is I wish I had had him his whole life. But at least I get to enjoy my time with him now, and for the rest of his life, he's going to have a safe, happy, loving home. So like I put in my weekend Medium blog, just a little kind of push, suggestion. Adopt a senior cat. I mentioned that before, but I wanted to mention it again and really drive that point home. Adopt a senior cat. Senior cats deserve homes as much, if not more, than younger cats. Kittens find homes. Young adult cats find homes. Although maybe not as much as kittens. But senior cats, I feel, get the short end of the stick when they're up for adoption, because I think there's a lot of trepidation maybe, or nerves with adopting a cat that has more life behind them than ahead of them. And yes, my time with Taylor will be short, but it will be so precious. I say that every day. Every second I have this boy with me, and I see him curled up and sleeping, or playing with toys, or chasing after my young foster Rosie, who is a decade younger than him, or curled up with Tucker and Vance, his brothers, his adopted brothers, every time he does something like that, I am just so happy and appreciative and loving the fact that I was able to just give him a couple more years, give him more time and another loving home, because he deserved that. And senior cats deserve that. So give them a chance. Give them the opportunity. Yes, your time will be a little short with them, but it will be so precious, because no cat, in my opinion, every cat deserves a loving home, and every cat will show you how much they appreciate being adopted from a shelter. That's one of the beauties and joys of having a shelter cat, is they will thank you, and they will keep thanking you for getting them out of there. Even if the shelters are great and they do a great job, there's still nothing like having a loving home. But senior cats thank you a million times as much. Every time I see him, he's rubbing and purring, and he keeps me company when I work, because I work from home. And when I do the episode production, he keeps me company, and he's just the first person to say hello to me. He makes amazing biscuits. Could you imagine him being denied the past year of that kind of life? Could you imagine that? So if you see a senior cat at your local shelter or your local foster or local rescue, if you see a senior cat and maybe they look a little grumpy, or maybe, maybe they've lost a little bit of a spring in their step, or maybe they don't look quite as happy or playful as the younger cats, don't hold that against them. Go over to that cat, give them a pet, say hello, introduce yourself the right way, let them sniff your hand, give them a pet on the head, very gently. I wouldn't be surprised if that cat purrs and gives you attention, because that cat's saying, oh, thank you. Yeah, I may be older, but I'm still good. So give a senior cat a chance. They deserve love as much as any other cat does. And with that, I bid you a good week. Go cuddle with your cats, and we'll see you in the next episode.